YouTube. Like my dress? I made it. I've learned to do so many things with your tutorials, and I'd really like to say thank you so much to everyone who puts tutorials out there. I really enjoy watching them and learning from you guys. You guys are so inspirational, and therefore I just wanted to try my own hand at it. This is my very first video, so um, I hope that I do everyone out there who's done tutorials proud from what I've learned from them. Today I'm going to actually make a fused dichroic pendant that I learned how to make using the FuseWorks kiln that I've also watched tutorials on, and I've actually learned about this product from YouTube. I'm really in love with it. It just has become an extreme passion for me, and I just like to try my very first video doing something that I really enjoy doing, and I've done it quite a lot. So please bear with me as my very first video. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of M's and is and ahs and things like that, so forgive me for those up front. And I'm going to go ahead and turn this down here so you can see what I'm doing, at least to the best of the camera's ability here. Unfortunately, I do not have a bunch of software that will edit things out and speed things up, so this is going to just sort of be as quick as I possibly can so you guys don't get extremely bored. But anyway, I've pre-cut some of my dichroic pieces here. Very pretty pieces. I don't know if the camera, oops, nope, the camera can't see it. There you go. Very pretty pieces that I've found at various art glass studios. Isn't that gorgeous? Anyway, I've already cut the top piece. Every time you make a dichroic pendant, I personally really like to cap it with the clear. You can do it without a cap, but it's really rather, I don't know, it just looks a lot like colored tinfoil to me. So I really rather just like doing it this way. Let me see if that'll help a little bit. Anyway, so I've already cut my capping to the space that to the size that I like. So now I'm just going to go ahead and cut my base color to that size. I'm going to just sort of move that out of the way. This is a non-oil glass cutter, as I've learned on YouTube. You don't want oil near your glass, otherwise it will actually pop in the kiln, and that's not really a good thing. We certainly don't want that. I've had to actually go in and replace my glass because of it doing that in the kiln. It just sort of displaces itself. So we're just going to cut this base here as best we can. Nothing has to be perfect, unfortunately, or actually fortunately, because we would never do anything if everything had to be perfect, because you know it is never perfect. So now I have a little bit of base there. I just want to chop off. You want to just kind of make sure you wipe down your glass. Make sure that there isn't any fingerprints on there. It's really just sort of to your liking, to your taste. So I've already got my base, and I like the black because it just really makes the dichroic pop. I found these little strips here. Aren't they pretty? At a glass store in Las Vegas, actually. I was passing through town there, and these little noodles, as they call them, dichroic noodles, they are just so gorgeous. And this is all I have left of this one. As you can see, I've used it. They also make other types of dichroic noodles. They make the black and the clear. Isn't that gorgeous? I love this stuff. I am in love with it. Now you can use glue to glue your pieces in place. I have found, however, that the glue doesn't always burn off in these microwave kilns, so sometimes it leaves you with a little bit of black spots that I don't really like. It just doesn't make your artwork very good, and you make all this, do all this work and this designing. I'm just putting a little bit of aloe vera lotion, which also I learned on YouTube, and it holds your pieces in place so they don't shift, but it doesn't make that nasty kind of carbony, because it's not, obviously doesn't have any elements in it that will do that. I'm just kind of, I hope you can see this. I'm sorry, I know that this is not the best, but I'm just placing my strips on there, and just sort of some type of design. Now this dichroic is ridged, but I like the ridges to be up. Unfortunately, this particular dichroic, I have learned that when you put it dichroic side down, even if it's not against another dichroic strip, it does tend to pop in the microwave. I don't know whether it's just my microwave or not. So I'm just putting little dab. This is a little syringe that you can put glue in. I really like it. I bought it online, and it's a really handy little tool. It's neat how you can see the colors when you put the aloe vera on it. You can actually see the colors that the dichroic glass will actually become once you fire it. So it's just pretty neat, pretty random. You can do patterns, you can do whatever you like. That's really the neat thing about it, is you can just do whatever you like. Tweezers come in handy sometimes if you're trying to, looks like I may only get one of these pieces in the center. I have two of them, but I don't know, let's see. Let's see if we can get that second one in the middle. It might be too big. Well, aha, I got it in there. See, just random patterns, or you can just make, you know, so how cool is that? Now that's going to be very pretty when it comes out. So now what we want to do is we grab our capping here, and we'll just sort of place it on there just to make sure that it's going to be good. Let's put a little bit more of the vera, the aloe vera here. Make sure that this aloe vera has no oil in it. Look at your ingredients before you decide to use this. But mine has no oil. It's pure aloe vera, and I'll tell you, it has been a lifesaver with that glue. I just do not like using the glue. So anyway, we're just going to kind of cap that on there, press it down as much as you can. Just try to keep it overlapped. You want your clear capping to sort of cover all the bases. I have a little lip there of black base that I don't have a clear capping for, but I'm not going to worry about that too much. It'll all come out good anyway. This here is called thin fire kiln paper. You need this in order to cover your kiln base, which is right here. If you do not have that, the glass will melt right into that and ruin the money that you've spent on this. They're not extremely expensive, but they're not that cheap either. So you get this from an art supply store. You can get it from Hobby Lobby. The texture is a little bit rougher for Hobby Lobby. I prefer this, and it's actually cheaper, shocking enough. So we're just going to put that base right on there, that layer, and then we're going to gently get our piece that we just created, and we're going to put that on. Put it here. You want to make sure that it covers, this is actually a rather large piece. I didn't realize that. So I'm going to shift it here on this paper just to make sure that I've got it completely on the kiln paper. You do not want any of that going over that kiln paper. You also want to make sure that it's completely at least an 1/8 of an inch away from the edge here, because this inside here has got graphite lining, and if you touch the inside of this with the glass will explode, and then you'll have to pick it off inside your kiln. So we're going to go ahead and put the lid on gingerly. I'm going to go ahead and put this in my microwave, which unfortunately you can't see. Let me see if I can shift this camera a little bit without making y'all dizzy. Here's my microwave. Okay, we're going to put that in the microwave for, mine is only a 700 watt microwave, so I do it a little bit longer than others. Most people have an 1100 watt. Unfortunately, this is my spare one. I didn't want to just go out and incur the expense of a new microwave for this. They say you can use your microwave after you do this. I personally would not. This sometimes has an aroma. I personally would not use food in a microwave after you've done this. Just health reasons. I prefer it. That's up to you. It's your choice. Anyway, I'm going to start this off with about 5 minutes for mine, because it's only a 700 watt. These types of dichroic, you don't want to fire it too much. My dichroic is a 96 COE, not a 90 COE, so it can fire a little bit longer without losing its luster. And plus the glass that I use for the top and the base is a similar COE. It's not the 90 fusible glass. I ran out of that stuff, obviously. It is more expensive. So the art glass supply stores will usually only have a 96 COE. So you do better to do the 96 COE on the dichroic, not the 90. Just a word of wise. Anyway, we're going to let that go for a little bit, and we'll be back in a minute.